Hi everyone, good morning from Vienna. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Making It in Austria. I'm your host, Adela Mejtijanic, and today I have a very awesome guest, Romana Maalouf. Romana, welcome to our channel.
Hi, Adela. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming with that big smile and that good energy. It's Monday morning.
Sunny day. Exactly. Monday morning, but sunny day.
A sunny day helps always. Romana, thank you for taking the time. So I'm really looking forward to hear your story. Let's kick off with your short introduction.
All right. My name is Romana Maalouf, and I'm originally from Czech Republic, but have been living in Vienna for, I guess it's 10, 11 years. So quite a long time to call it home, or one of my homes, as I like to say. And I am a professional photographer, and I specialize in everything and anything about families. So couples, pregnancies, newborn babies, families, family events. And my little passion project is personal branding for entrepreneurs. And I very much believe in the value of the authentic photography. So I like to capture candid and natural moments that carry certain feeling and certain emotion, so that one day when the family or the person looks back, they will just see everything that was happening at the time, and most importantly, they will feel it from the photographs.
Where does this passion come from? Where does it come from? So
that's a very good question. Yeah, this is the classic, like, what is your why? Why you do what you do? I think that, I've been in photography since forever. I think I'm one of the kind of boring stories of ever since I was a child.
Yeah.
But I think that it was with the birth of my son, my first child, when I kind of picked up the camera and I really focused not only on the family photography as such, but to really capture the moments that might matter for someone else. Because I saw it, like once you become a parent, and then you just start experiencing these small little moments that have the biggest value, like the first smile, or the way your child will hug you, and the way they just laugh or giggle and want to play with you. And when you see how much you actually mean for them, then I think that this was really the source of my passion, to really capture these moments, because I saw it, how quickly my son, and now my children, I have a daughter as well, so I have two kids, how quickly they grow up and how quickly they change. I felt like if I have the talent probably, or the means to capture that for myself and for someone else, I felt that like this was just such a burning desire to do that it just became my profession at the end of the day. So I think that this is all my source of inspiration, or the motivation. It's just all come from my children and from the family life we've been having, because this is when you actually really see what matters the most at the end of the day.
Thank you for sharing with us. You mentioned, so before we started recording, we talked about that you spent some time in other countries around the world. So how does it feel to be in Austria? So can you compare to some your home country, other countries that you have been? What do you see?
Well, before Vienna, we lived in Egypt, in Cairo. So when we relocated, it was I mean me and my husband, it was from Cairo to Vienna. So for me, the transition was very, very smooth and very much welcome, because I really wanted to go back to Europe, and I've always loved Vienna. We used to come here quite frequently. So when we got the chance to move in here, I was like, yay, we're going back. I felt like I'm going back home, because the life in Czech Republic or in Vienna is fairly similar. At least we have the Four Seasons, right? That's something I missed in Cairo. And so it was a really smooth transition. I already knew that I have to start from scratch. It was not a very new experience for me, because I already moved once. So that was the second move for me. I knew that I had to quit my job and I had to start from scratch. I had to find a new job, but I was ready for that. I already knew that I will be having these ups and downs, just like anybody else who arrives to a new place. It doesn't necessarily have to be a foreign country or a new country, like you might just move to another city within your homeland, and you would have to experience the same. So I was ready for it. I was prepared. I knew what was coming upon me, and the transition itself was really smooth. So
So no major challenges, or so what were your major challenges, or was it the
I think,
language, or was it the culture? So or
yeah,
is
I think I didn't really face any major challenge because I actually learned German before. I learned German throughout my school years. So I had the theoretical knowledge. The only difference was that the Austrian German is a little bit different from the actual classic Hochdeutsch. So when I arrived, I kind of arrived with the idea of, well, I'm already all set up and I can go, but no, I didn't understand anything. So it took a while, and I don't think that until now I'm quite like fluent and be able to understand everything and talk in German. And when it comes to any other challenge, I mean, we already had a few friends here, and as I said, for me, it literally felt like I was going back home. So if I can compare with the transition to Egypt, that was much more of a challenge because that was a completely different country, different continent, different environment, different culture, and it was a bit challenging, or more challenging, to get used to that than going back from Cairo to Vienna, where the life is basically the same as I knew before.
I want to go back to your business, Romana. So how long do you have your own business? And you mentioned as well that you're specialized on a family photography, but as well branding, personal branding for entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
Can you tell
Well,
us more?
sure. I've been in the photography business for quite a long time, but I was either a part of someone else's studio as an associate. But my own license I got in 2019. I had a lots of on and offs in between because my kids were born, and I also had my regular day job. So I've been full-time self-employed. Well, not full-time, self-employed as such since 2019, and I've been doing photography full-time since 2020. And what was your other question?
The entrepreneurs. So one side you have the family, and then the
Yes.
other side was the personal branding for
Yes,
entrepreneurs.
yes. So the family photography, that was something that I was always drawn to. I actually started my photography journey as an animal photographer at the time when I had no kids, and I just photography was a hobby, and I love animals. So I would be going around the zoos, or we were lucky to also take a few trips to Africa for a safari. So I would be photographing animals, and that was my big passion. And somewhere along the way, my high school friends started having families, and every now and then somebody would come and ask whether I would take pictures for them. And I think that this was probably the beginning of the transition when I started taking pictures of people and families. And it kind of, I just stayed in that field for a long time. And as I said, when my kids were born, I started feeling that this is actually really my passion and what attracts me the most, to like experience these beautiful moments and to capture them for someone. And while I was actually working or being focused on the family photography, it was thanks to networking, I would say, when I started meeting other entrepreneurs and other like-minded people who basically, like when we started like being in touch, I realized that what I could actually do for them was to take a pictures of them actually working. So my kind of photography is very much focused on lifestyle. I like to really capture the candid and the natural moments in the natural occurrence. So I never really like the business portraits that are very like static, you're just like looking at the camera. And while there are lots of amazing photographers here in Vienna or wherever else who can do really jobs and beautiful classic contemporary portraits, I never really felt drawn to it. But what I loved the most was to actually photograph people when they work and to capture their personality and to actually like every now and then somebody comes and say like, I need pictures because my clients ask me, what is it that I actually do?
Yeah.
So, and I love to capture that. I love to capture people doing their profession, especially when it is someone who actually works with hands, like crafts, or recently I did a amazing session with a friend of mine. She loves to bake bread and she's really great in it. So yeah, so this kind of came to my mind, personal branding. Why not to help self-employed or entrepreneurs, artists, scientists, you name it, to get them images that would actually carry their energy and their personality and their passion for what they do. Because I really believe that photography has the ability to capture these moments. So yeah, this is how we started networking. And as I said when we were chatting before, Vienna is amazing because it's such a, you would say it's a capital city, but it's a small city where the expat community is very interconnected. So it was a little snowball that started rolling, and I started to meet more and more people. And this is when the personal branding photography kind of kicked in, and I started to enjoy it more and more. So I still call it, it's my little passion project on the side, because I still like to focus on families mainly. But I just enjoy meeting other people who can share the story, and then we can chat and we can share our experiences while we're actually taking pictures.
Um, thank you, Romana. So it's a I enjoyed really much listening to your story, and it's definitely like that. So you're capturing people while they're doing, and I think that's. I know myself, so I'm not really a fan of being in front of the camera, and it's like, I need hours to get comfortable. Any tip on when people taking?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Now, when you said that you need the hours to feel comfortable, I always say that it is my job actually to make you feel comfortable in front of the camera. And I hope that many of my clients can confirm that the photo session with me is always very relaxed, because it is, I just know, I feel myself very awkward in front of the camera. So I can definitely relate how people feel when I just point the camera on them. But this is why I love the lifestyle photography so much, because the photo session is most of the time nothing more but like a walk, a play day, a chat. And as we are walking and we are chatting, I'm actually taking the pictures, because I want people to just forget about the fact that I have the camera in the hand. And I want them to feel themselves. I want them to feel relaxed and comfortable, and focus mainly on each other and on their children or their babies. And like, I think that works fairly well. I have a lot of people who came to me and said that they were really camera shy and they hated to be photographed until they met me. This is one of my, I'm always very happy to hear that I turned someone from being camera shy to actually someone who can enjoy the photo session. So yeah, so that I would say, like, the number one advice would be, you find the photographer with whom you feel a connection, and just lean back and relax. This is our job. This is our main responsibility, to make you feel relaxed in front of the camera. You shouldn't worry about that.
Thank you, Romana. I will definitely link your contact details for this video so that people can get in touch with you. They can check your profile, and hopefully they can find the time and do some pictures with you. I would.
That would be lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You just mentioned about networking, Vienna being very rich as an expat community. Can you recommend us a couple of places, or where do you go, and how do you make how do you network? Do you have any kind of tips?
Well, I think for me, my number one is Vienna Family Network. This is I call it the village away from my village, because that's an amazing community that is run, first of all, by amazing women. And it provides a great kind of source of friendship and advice, and everything that you miss once you are an expat and you are living far away from your families and you actually have a family of your own. I think when my son was born, I'm just so grateful that this network exists, because when my son was born, I was basically here alone, and I didn't really have friends who would have kids at that time. And I cannot imagine what I would have done without my group from Vienna Family Network. I met amazing ladies, lots of great friends that I keep meeting until now. Lots of great networking opportunities that came out of there. And yeah, I would say definitely Vienna Family Network is my advice number one if you need to uh, if you need to get connected with people who are having babies of the same age just like you, and you want to share your worries and your joys and everything with people who are basically going through the same, and they're in the similar position because they are also expats. I cannot recommend them more than this, because for me it was really life-saving experience.
Mm. I told you before this recording that I just joined. So nowadays everything is online, and I love that they do the different groups. So that the right
Yes,
groups, like for instance, we have
exactly,
this March, April. It really makes
exactly,
sense, yeah, to mingle, to talk to the moms that are in the same stage or same
exactly.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, because once you start hitting all those phases that babies or children go through, and you don't really have anyone else to have as a reference, it's just great. Because I remember the times when we were going through some of the sleep regression phases, right? Nobody was really sleeping at night, and we're like, oh my God, my baby is not sleeping. And when you hear someone else saying, oh, my baby is not sleeping either, then you feel like, oh my God, it's not just my baby. It maybe I'm not doing something wrong. Maybe it's just really a phase. It's just amazing that you could share this with people, or just complain about how difficult life is once you don't have one grandma on one phone and another grandma on the other phone. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was really I think that I can never be grateful enough for being able to connect through Vienna Family Network.
This is a great testimonial. So
PR.
great PR, but they deserve it. So I
Absolutely,
absolutely
absolutely.
so.
And the amount of work these ladies put into
Yes.
it is just amazing. I especially last year, and actually this year as well, throughout the global pandemic, I just recently saw the report, what they actually managed throughout the last year, while not even being able
Yeah.
to have meetings as they used to have. Yeah, really, I mean, hats off.
Yes. Yes. So there are so many amazing communities and amazing women that are, apart from being full-time employed, apart from being moms and wives and being, involved in the community, they are starting something else and do a lot of voluntary work. So that's really, really amazing and necessary, without a,
Superheroes, yes.
yeah, really, really, really superheroes. So I will as well link their website to this conversation as well, so that for the people who are in Austria and want to meet other people, so it's definitely a great place to be. Romana, before we are coming closer to the end of this interview, before we wrap up, so I wanted to ask you, for the people who are moving to Austria, for instance, nowadays, or considering, so what would be your kind of advices to give them?
My advice for people moving to Austria, it's a beautiful country to move into, especially Vienna. So get excited. Advice number one would be probably, if you can, learn a bit of German. I think this is always great if you want to get integrated. I mean, we anyway, like whenever we travel, we do that, right? If you go for a vacation, you just make the effort to learn at least a few
Yeah.
words in that particular language. I think that it's not an asset to arrive and being fluent in German or be already at certain level, because I myself have been living in nearly exclusively English speaking environment, and I use German very little. So it's not really a must, but I think it's great to make the
Yeah.
effort and
Yeah.
just to try a little. And other than that, I'm not sure that I'm like wise enough to give advices for people moving to Austria, but I think that in the beginning everything might look a little bit intimidating and overwhelming. I guess we all share the same
Yes.
experience. You arrive to a foreign country, and it can be as well organized as Vienna or Austria is, but it's something new, right? So I would say don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yep.
Number one. Number two, try to connect with like-minded people. There's just so many communities here of expats that are very welcoming, and there are lots of people who are providing help.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
whether it's a paid service or whether it's something that is being offered as free.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then just enjoy it. I don't think that Austria or Vienna is a difficult place to live at. I think that once you arrive as an expat, everything is basically ready for you, right? You just have to have the courage and, as I said, not to be afraid to ask for help. And whatever your plan is, whether it is finding a job or whether it is becoming a self-employed, just I think it's fairly easy to figure that out.
Mm.
When it comes to searching for a job, of course, that really depends on what you want to do and where you want to work, what your experience or expertise is.
Mm.
If you want to if you want to be self-employed, then I think that the steps are also fairly easy, and it's not difficult to actually learn about how to establish your business,
Mm.
even if you are not really German speaking, because I know that the Chamber of Commerce, they offer free workshops that are
Mm.
actually run in English. There are also other places where you can ask for help. So yeah, everything is possible. Just don't be afraid and jump.
Give it a try, right?
Give it a try, yeah.
Give it a try. One of the communities as well that comes fairly often is the Women of Vienna, and
Oh, yes.
as well International Women in Vienna. Two
Yes.
communities that you can find on Facebook. So it's a really great community.
Absolutely. Now I feel guilty. I didn't mention them.
But they have been mentioned many, many times as well
Yes, yes.
through this interview.
Women of Vienna. There
Yes.
are also I think expat ladies of Vienna.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of Facebook groups that are
Yes.
also very helpful. Yeah.
Yes. That can.
Moms at the World.
Mhm.
There's also another one.
Perfect.
Recently established growing community. Yeah, as I said, the expat community in Vienna or in Austria is just beautifully supportive and encouraging, and you can find so many friends. So yeah.
I remember back then when we decided to move here, so it was a different world. So I think in 2012, 2013, it wasn't like that. So it was a fairly different world. We had one community that was from Bosnia. So basically, so the students, it was mostly student community and students from Bosnia that started just a Facebook group. And we were there all the time and reading all the forums and all everything that was there. But now I see, years later, it's a completely different story. Completely different story.
I feel so too. Maybe there are more and more expats coming. I see it at my work. I have a lot of clients who left Vienna. I have a lot of new ones.
Yeah.
So I feel that there are definitely people come and people go. But I also feel that the international community has been growing and networking more and more, which is great.
Yeah.
Because I feel like besides the fact that networking will bring you probably work opportunities or maybe even business opportunities. What I love about the networking is that you actually get the feeling that you belong somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that for an expat, that's something that might be probably more valuable than getting work out of it. Because I think that I hear it quite a lot of time when expats arrive to Vienna and they can be living here for many years. Many people would say that they don't feel like they are at home, that they never felt like they actually belong, although they've been here for many years and they have their businesses, or maybe they work here, their children were born here. And I had the feeling for a very long time until I actually started establish my own business and I started networking. And it was actually also thanks to the Vienna Family Network when I started meeting other people who were also having their own business. And I remember there was a moment when out of sudden I feel like, oh, but wait a minute, this is for the first time when I actually feel like I belong here in Vienna. Like probably because my name is already known and I know other people who are also known.
Yeah.
And it was really such a priceless moment, such a priceless feeling, because it really made me feel that this is also my home and I belong here.
Oh, that's so nice. I wrote it down, so I will definitely use it in one way or the other. Definitely worth to go out and meet other people. So there's so many opportunities. It would be such a shame, for people not to use it. Romana, thank you so much for being our guest, and it was such a pleasure to talk to you on Monday morning. Before we wrap up, I would like to ask you what you're reading at the moment, or is there any other book that you would like to recommend?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a good answer, the good question for me, because I'm so busy throughout the day, and then I have my children around that when the evening comes, which is the only time when I can read something, I'm just so done that if I open a book, I will fall asleep. So if The Little Prince classifies as a good book, this is what I'm currently reading with my son. But otherwise, no, unfortunately, I'm still waiting for the time when I can go back to a good book and actually lie down and really read without falling asleep. But what I've been recently enjoying are podcasts or Clubhouse.
Okay.
So if that qualifies as something like, oh my God, Romana Maalouf is also reading, then I can mention that.
So which podcast is there any specific ones that you...
I've been listening to whatever is related to my field, so photography related material, but let me check, because I might not remember exactly the names. I recently read somewhere on the Facebook groups a recommendation for 2 podcasts that I downloaded, and I'm just waiting for the chance to watch it or listen to it. Sorry. It was The Guilty Feminist, which apparently is very good and very funny. And the other one was Unlocking Us by Brené Brown.
Okay, I know
So
that.
I don't know anything about it yet. I can't tell you really whether it's good or not, but it was recommended by several people. So yeah, that's something that's on my list. And other than that, I don't know whether you've ever joined Clubhouse.
Yes.
That's also a very nice platform.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long it will last, because I guess that once we all go back to the normal life, yay. Maybe we will not have that much time anymore to listen to live podcasts, but that's also something that's quite enjoyable.
Yeah. So I'm happy to sacrifice Clubhouse for, being able to go out and meet friends. So
I'm deleting it as we speak, if that helps.
But it's a great platform. It's a great platform. I had a chance to listen some of the great shows there and participate actively in some of them. So it's a nice way to engage with other people and then connect on other platforms as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's amazing because I follow some of my role models in photography, like big names worldwide, and it's amazing to actually listen to them live and be able to actually say something or join the discussion or ask questions. I think that's really invaluable. So
yes, absolutely.
But I'm still willing to sacrifice it if I can go back to regular life and just meet people and hug someone.
I hope that I strongly believe it's coming, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to meet you in person and meet all other amazing people that we had on Making It in Austria channel. So it will be great opportunity, hopefully in summer, that we meet.
That's a great idea.
Very much soon. Yeah, we should mingle and get to know. It's a great network. So it's
fabulous.
Yeah. Thank you, Romana, so much, and so for being our guest. I will link all your details so people can get in touch with you. And thank you to our viewers. Please like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. So every week we bring new inspiring stories and role models in Making It in Austria. Yeah, have a great day. Enjoy beautiful weather wherever you are, and talk to you soon. Thank you so much.